Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another backstage interview from the Metals Investor Forum. I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven, and I'm joined today by Kevin Keough of Evergold. Kevin, nice to see you again. It's been 10 days since the event, and you've put out one more set of results from Golden Lion. Before we dive into the details of that, I mean, Evergold had quite a, if you look on the share price chart, had quite the year. I mean, a big run up, a lot of anticipation from these targets that had never been tested before, that had a lot of good evidence. Exploration is a tricky beast, so they didn't come out exactly the way the market thought. But now you're going into another year with a lot more information about the properties that you're trying to test. So do you want to start? I mean, pick one of the two projects and sort of run us through what you learned from the exploration process there.
Yes, last year at this time, Gwen, we planned a program that was kind of a broad brush approach, because we weren't quite sure where to focus at either Snowball or Golden Line. And so it lacked maybe a focus. We were focused on the property and the prospect, but we just didn't know where to put our finger. I think exactly where to go. And I think the net outcome of what we did last year at both Snowball and Golden Line is we think we know exactly where we need to go for this next phase. And we should have gotten to what we hope to drill this summer there. We will drill this summer. We should have really gotten to it last year, but it just didn't quite work out. Ran out of money, our assays were late, and we had to shut down. That's the way it is.
And I mean, last summer, weather-wise alone, was a very challenging year for everybody who worked up in the Golden Triangle. The winter lasted forever, and it was snowy and rainy and foggy, and it was just very difficult. And you guys were working in a place where just sort of drill pad setup was tough. So you had all of the challenges of exploration sort of up against you.
Yes, that's very true. It was a bad year across the board up there, and it was worse on some properties than others. So we hoped to hit it out of the ballpark last year. We didn't quite get there, but I'd like to say to people, if they want to study what we've put out, actually look at the details of the PowerPoint for these properties. You can see what we're aiming for in the approaching season, and it's potentially very exciting. I'm excited about it. I put in more money recently, and that just says something, right?
Right. Well, let's choose one of the two, just for the interest of not talking forever. Why don't you talk about the details of what you learned and what the new target is, either at Snowball or Golden Lion?
Yeah, well, let's do Golden Line, and it's not because I feel that's better than the Snowball. But Golden Line, the net result of the whole year there, we have a plus 800 meter long gold zone that's actually been drilled. So that encompasses Newmont's drilling and our own, and it's over 800 meters long. And the true width of that zone, conservatively, is north of 100 meters. It's actually more like 150. Now that's a broad, low grade zone that encompasses higher grade hits. Nothing spectacular yet in terms of the high grade, but we think it's the halo over something much better. And the reason we think that is because we did what nobody had done before. We did very detailed geophysics right over the heart of it. And that geophysics actually wrapped up after our drilling shut down. We didn't want to shut down, but we were forced to. And that basically showed us that we have a really good looking chargeability, combined chargeability and resistivity anomaly that is just there below where Newmont drilled. So, and it's got enhanced our, trace elements like arsenopyrite, antimony, etc., that you would expect to see in the halo overlying the better part of the system. So big gold zone, and we are going to drill what we hope is much better below it very soon.
Gotcha. And then you also, I mean, seasonality is obviously a big limitation when you're working up in the Golden Triangle. And so you also diversified your portfolio recently, adding a Nevada asset. And, you know, it's always hard to go from picking up an asset to drilling it, which is what everybody wants you to do. But yeah,
Yes.
talk to us a bit about Nevada and what you're going to be able to, why you like the asset and what you might be able to do there in the next little while.
Well, we like the asset because of what it promises, and we weren't looking for another asset. It just happened that Charlie was down there on another job for another client, and Darwin Green, one of our directors, knew the vendor, and you know, it was a bit of a coup to get it, honestly, because people are having trouble traveling, as you know, at the minute, and if you've got a property that you want to vend. Not so many people can get around to look at it. So Charlie liked it. He went over and saw it, liked it a lot. And why we all like it is, again, like Golden Lion, it's got a big gold zone that's already been drilled on it, and it holds together. It was drilled by BHP. Ironically, it's about the same size currently as the one on Golden Lion. It's over 800 meters. It's also got a very high grade old past producer. But the real excitement there is this broad, low grade envelope. Again, it's got really strong arsenic and antimony. It's got high grades of gold within these really broad intercepts of low grade material. So it's structurally oriented, it's epithermal, brecciated zones, and we think it's actually the halo again over an undrilled Midas style route to the system. So it's really all about high grade there. Unlike, it's not the broad low grade zone is not sitting on surface. It's actually blind to surface. And so we don't consider that an open pit prospect or anything. What we're really interested is the high grade that's presumably there beneath this halo. And we're quite sure it is because some of that high grade is actually in the halo, i.e., you know, 3-4 meters of 10, 20 grams, that kind of thing. So that's an exciting play.
And what's the status of that in terms of what you know, what more work you need to do? What are you going to be able to do there in the next little while?
Well, we have all the data historically, and we're right now busy assembling it. Well, we have it actually. We're starting to model it and interpret it. We've already got some leapfrog imagery, you know, so we've been planning all of that. And so within several months, we'll know exactly what we want to do in terms of drilling. And likely we would do that next winter at this point. I mean, we can drill it any time of the year, which is a good thing about that particular property.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it's been an up and down trip for Evergold so far, but you're now in a position where you know a lot more, and so it's sort of more substantiated confidence in the prospects that you're going to be attacking this summer.
Yeah, we've got large gold zones drilled, and both of them appear to have much better below, and that's not talking about Snowball. We will hit Snowball this time too.
I like the confidence. Well, I look forward to keeping up with news from BC and Nevada over the next little while, and thanks for taking the time.
Okay, thanks a lot, Gwen.